Hi, everybody. Hi, how are you doing? Let's just close the door, maybe? Thank you. So, here, they heard we're starting, so they're clapping too. Wow, so this is a kind of a surprise. We had this switch, but everything's okay. I wanted to say, hey, this is the last talk of the day, so I'll change my script just a little bit. Hey, so this is almost the last talk of the day. How are you all doing? Yeah. How has been AngularUP so far? Well, has it been a good conference? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. There were lots of great talks about Angular, so really great. Just the last sentence that we heard now in the lightning talk kind of got me alarmed. We're not going to need JavaScript anymore. Okay, we're going to be out of jobs soon. Okay, so but let's see what we can do with JavaScript or maybe with other things in the meantime. So we're going to talk about how you talk to your app and which way is forward. No. This, no. Hey, oh. Let's try it just once again, and if not, we'll switch to the manual. Okay, so we'll do it this way. Okay, so how to talk to your app with an Angular application, of course, because it's, like you see, we really love Angular. You don't see? Thank you. Hidden buttons. Okay, thanks. So Angular, all right? And we have Firebase as our server as a service in the backend, gives us a whole functionality of the backend. And we're going to use also Google Cloud Platform for that. All right, so before we start, just a little bit about myself. I'm Shmuela, and I'm working with Angular for the past few years, and I really love it. And this is where you can find me. And what I do in my free time is I run ngGirls, and these are pictures from actually this is the first event that we had. Where we support women in or diversity, actually, in tech, in programming. And one way that we're doing this is by having workshops for beginners, where the participants work on a tutorial, a written tutorial, in small groups with mentors. And we're actually going to have one of those tomorrow. So I'm really excited. And we've got such great mentors. Many of the speakers today were kind enough to volunteer for the event tomorrow. So I'm really grateful for that, and it's going to be really awesome event. So if you want to participate in events like this, or organize something like this, or participate in events for more experienced women, then just come talk to me. We're ngGirls. I got also Robert, who is also doing events of ngGirls in Berlin and in Europe. So we're all over the world. Just talk to us. And another little thing that I'm doing in my free time is the meetup Angular Nights. So just go into meetup.com and find Angular Nights. We're doing workshops about Angular in the morning. Okay, so why do we want to talk to our apps? The future is here. We had the ideas of talking to the computers, to the machines a long time ago. So we had the ideas already in Star Trek on television, also before that in books, of course. So this picture is actually taken from this article about Amazon Echo, which you can start saying computer to. In this, they just talk to the computer and ask stuff like how to defeat the Borgs, but maybe it won't know how to defeat the Borgs, but it would listen to you at least, you know? Another scene from Star Trek where they go to the past, which is our past already. As you can see, I think it's the 80s. And they try to activate the computer, they try to give it commands, and they start talking to the computers. So, and of course, it doesn't really work. So we want these guys from Star Trek to be able to come to our present and to talk to the applications, right? We don't want to disappoint them. So this actually is from also an article about how Google is also going to make the Star Trek computer commonplace. Like you can really talk to your applications, to your computers. Another sign that the future is already here is this. Okay, if Gil Fink said that the future is here, then I believe him. All right? Where's Gil? Gil, are you here? Yeah. All right. So, why do we want to talk to our applications? For me, the first reason is this. How many times have you tried to use your computer and didn't have the keyboard available for that, or your hands to type on the keyboard, right? Because obviously you have a cat. Another reason, I was inspired by Jeremy's talk about the speech API. And I'm going to show you a little bit of his demo. Okay. It's not connected to the audio, but I'll just tell you what you see. There's an application of a really, really large database having data about countries and their population and the economy and so on. It's from the World Bank. And to get some kind of a graph or a list, a table out of this database, you really need to start going through all the options, searching for the country that you want to see, and filtering in all different types of parameters. And if you could just say, I want the population of Israel between 1995 to 2010 in a graph. This will be much easier and much faster than trying to find all the filters and all the different display options that you have. So this is one of the examples that really inspired me. Okay, go back to the slides. Okay, another idea that I was thinking about. Let's say you have an application where you build a family tree, okay? And you can maybe start typing all the names and all the relations, but if you can just have your grandmother, your aunt or uncle just sit with you and just tell you about the family relations. And the computer would get that and build the whole family tree. Wouldn't this be really awesome? Now, the technology today really allows this. And when you talk to your application, when you tell about those family relations, you don't need to do that in a special syntax, like say, for example, Bibi is married to Sarah, okay? And no, you can also say Sarah is married to Bibi. Bibi and Sarah are a husband and wife. You can say that in different different phrases, different words, and it will work. Sorry, I didn't mean to get into politics here. I'm not, but it's just a fact. So this is just one example, and I'm going to show you a few more examples of what you can do with speech recognition and text analysis. Okay, so how do you do this? You've got several different devices that can hear you talk and react to this and maybe give you an answer or do something. So we've got here Alexa and I think that's the iPhone, the Apple Watch, right? And Google Home, and all kinds of devices that you can talk to, right? And there's special API for that, and you can start developing for these applications. But you don't really need a special device to start doing this. Okay, our phone has capability of listening to us, and it has even capabilities of analyzing our speech. Okay, so it can be also Android or iPhone and so on. And even our browsers have these capabilities. How many of you have tried using this little, it's a bit small, but this little button of a microphone in the Google search? Okay, you just press on it, and you can talk. You can say what you're looking for, and it will listen to you, and it will give you the results. So try it out. It's really cool. So the way Google is doing this on the browser, we can do it also in our web applications. So what do we need to do to make that happen? Of course, we need a microphone, okay? If we don't have a microphone on our device, then we can't record our speech. Oops, sorry. Okay. No, wrong button. All right. The microphone will record something. How will it record? Because we enable it in our Angular application, of course. And we will need probably special libraries for recording, because there are issues about codecs and sample rates that you need to handle in order to send the file and analyze it. Okay, so then we send the file to a Firebase storage, which is really easy with the Firebase SDK for web. So really just a matter of one line of code, and you have it in storage. Now, our new feature in Firebase that I really like and find very, very useful is Cloud Functions. This allows you to run functions on the server side, so you don't expose them to the client. And the functions are triggered by hooks on the database or on the storage, or they can be triggered by HTTP calls, and there are all kinds of events that can trigger that. So in our case, uploading an audio file to the storage of Firebase is what triggers the function. And what this function does, okay, it goes to the Google Cloud Platform, which is of course integrated with Firebase. And there we have, in my demo application that I'll show you in a moment, we have the speech recognition, which takes an audio file or stream even, and translates it into text, okay, into actual words that you can read. And then the results come back. And then we send this text to the text analysis API in Google Cloud. Now, the Google Cloud platform is really powerful. It uses big data analysis, neural networks, and so on. They put a lot of work into analyzing, and we'll see other examples of what they can analyze in this platform. Because Google has so much data, so many audio files, text examples, samples, and we'll see images and videos and so on, they can really have, using machine learning, they can train their machines to know what you're saying in this audio file, or what does this text really mean. So we get the result back from the text analysis, and it breaks apart our sentence and gives us like meaningful data about what we said. What are the entities? What are the nouns? What are the verbs? What are the links to Wikipedia, if there are any, to something that we said? Lots of data, semantic data that you can use further on in your application. All right, and then the result is, comes back to the cloud functions, and we can save it in the database from there. And once we have that, the database is a real-time database, meaning that it gives us the results to our front end, to our application in real time. So we don't need to worry about this too much. If there's a change from one place, it will change in another place also. This is the logo of Angular Firebase. I'm using a library which is really recommended called Angular Fire to integrate between Angular and Firebase. It gives us the power of observables when we use Angular with Firebase. So it's really recommended, but I need to tell you that this logo is not exactly of Angular Fire, it's of Angular Firebase, which gives really good training and videos about Angular Fire. Okay? So we have the result back in our application, and we don't need to do almost anything if we use Angular Fire in the observables. It just listens to the data all the time. Okay? And it sends it back to our computer. Right? Okay, let me show you the application, the demo application that I prepared. It's really simple, and it doesn't do much. And it actually also has a bit of a bug, so I'm sorry in advance. But let's see what it can do. So this is the same application that I described in the slide just now. So you can record a sentence, and it will analyze the text and will put it in the database. It will analyze the speech and put it, the sentence in the database. Then it will send the sentence to analyze the text and give meaningful information about the sentence that you said. So let's give it a try, all right? What should I say to the application? What? Okay. Let's do this. Good evening, good afternoon actually. AngularUP is a great Angular conference, and I'm really happy to be here. I hope it wasn't too loud. Now, this takes a little bit of time to get analyzed. You can see in the, oh, here we got it. You can see some events that I logged here in the console. I've got some problems in the application. It's maybe a little bit slow, so it takes a bit of a while, but in the end, you get the results. Okay, so, good. And you can't really see all of it. Let's see. Okay, so now I see there's another bug for long sentences. But we can actually inspect it with Angular augury and see maybe what's there. Oh, now it works because I have this, almost. Okay. Transcripts. Okay, never mind. I'm not going to look for it now. I don't have a lot of time for that, but you can see that it really recognized what I said. Now, the bug here is that I broke the connection between recording an audio file and analyzing the text, but I have another way of inserting here the text that we want to analyze. So, I should have maybe copied more of it. Let's copy this. Okay, so it's not really perfect because it wrote blur up in the AngularUP. But let's just paste it like this. So here, this text that I paste here goes straight to analysis. And then we should get the result here also in just a few seconds. Now I'm doing full analysis on the sentence, so it takes a little bit of time. But we should see just the JSON. And I haven't done anything with the JSON yet. I can show you examples of the hello world that was analyzed. Okay, so you can see there's a sentiment, text, all kinds of things. And there is actually a good talk explaining this. I will show you in a moment. And let's see if this, okay, here, we got the result. We got the result for the sentence that we put in. Okay, so this is really how I connected it. And, oh no, I don't want to go through this whole thing again. Okay, and it's really easy to implement. It takes something like 5 minutes when you know what you're doing. So you start learning and you start understanding what you do, and then it's really, really easy, and things are really working out of the box. So I really recommend this. So this is the talk by Sarah Robinson that is explaining how the sentence is analyzed in different ways in the Google text analysis API. So she's showing there's a sentiment analysis, and let's go a little bit further. There's like, it tells you whether the sentence is has something good to say or something is like positive or negative, and how strongly it is. It shows you, she shows you the relations. The JSON has the relations between the different words in the different parts of the sentence. It tells you if this is a noun or a verb and so on. It gives you also the lemma form of the word. For example, helps, then the lemma form is help. And it gives you a whole bunch of information that you can analyze and do something with it. Okay, for example, understand what command you're trying to execute. Okay, like who's married to whom in our family tree application. So there's so much more to Google Cloud Platform. And like I said, it's using machine learning services. It gives you machine learning services. So what I've used here is the speech API, which recognizes from audio files, and the text analysis API, which analyzes the whole text. And you have translation services for over 80 languages, And again, this uses the machine learning, so it gets better and better all the time, and it doesn't translate just one word to another language, one word at a time. It translates the whole sentence with its semantics and understands what you're trying to do and tries to give you more meaningful translation. You also have this very powerful image analysis that tells you what you have in your images, what you see there. You have video analysis. Imagine how long it would take you to go frame by frame and try to analyze the images that you see there. So now you can just upload a whole video, and you'll get, for each segment of the video, you'll get an analysis of what you see there. So if there a second or two of some scenery, of a shore, for example, maybe a boat, you will get all these labels and more from this API, from this analysis. You even have job search and discovery using machine learning, using all the data that you have. And if that's not enough, you can use the machine learning service to do your own machine learning. Now, I told you that there's a big JSON file that comes with all the information of the text that you sent. Now, starting to analyze it might be a bit of a headache to do this by yourselves. So we've got APIAI, in which you can give rules and teach it semantics. It's a bit small, I think. Okay? You can teach it your vocabulary and your phrases that you're supposed to use in your application and so on. But it will also use machine learning to keep on and analyzing the text. And it will not rely only on what you input. Okay? So that's really, really powerful. So we can try something. Maybe, I think I installed here I'm using a built-in service for ordering reserving a place in a restaurant. So let's try something. Let's try. Find me a vegan restaurant in Tel Aviv. Oh, wait a minute. Intent, restaurant booking, location, city, Tel Aviv. So it gets a bunch of data that we can use, and we can take it as is to our application, and then our application will know, okay, there's an intent to book a restaurant, that's what I want to do, and I want to do this in Tel Aviv, and you can teach it more stuff. Now, you can get started for free, but then you say, okay, there's this whole machine learning and everything, that must be pretty expensive, right? So I went to pricing, and in case you just don't see, it's totally free, all right? Totally free. So that's awesome, that's really awesome. So this is a cool way that you can start using the speech API and analyze it. And just in the last minute that I have, I'll tell you about two other applications that really inspired me to do this talk. So there's an organization called Beyond Verbal, and they do research on people's emotions based on the tone of their voice. And the voice can have, of course, at once, like every sound you make, it can have multiple tones at once. So it can analyze them and tell you, really give you a very meaningful view of how you feel. And they have a cool application that you can download, Mood Call, that when you talk to someone on the phone, it will tell you how you sound. Okay, if you talk to your mom and you realize it can tell you that you're very, very happy every time you talk to her, then you might want to talk to her more, right? Another really, really great application is VoiceIt. That these are the company. This is the company, and TalkIt is the application, and they take this application listens to people who have difficulties in talking, and they don't talk very clearly, and you can talk. This person can talk to the application, and it will analyze what they wanted to say, and it will immediately say it in a clear voice. So that's really amazing, in my opinion. So I hope you got inspired to use more voice API, speech API, text analysis, and so on. And if you have any questions, any ideas, you're very welcome to come talk to me. I have ngGirls stickers also, so just come and grab them. Thank you very much.